What is up, everyone? This is JMO76. Welcome to the Gaming Nation, and today we are bringing you another episode of Transport Fever 2. We are back at it at Taiwan with the goal to make this city a monster on our map. So, since last time, couple things just to let you know I did off camera. Taiwan, the dock area was absolutely horrible. We had this absolutely ridiculous thing. I don't even know how to describe it. It was ugly, ugly, ugly. And so, not to say it's much better, but I did take some time to plop down some trees to try to change the elevation a little bit. And these are supposed to be the actual links from the road to the beach area. Again, I know that it doesn't look great, but as compared to what it was before, big improvements have been made. I also did raise the land level a little bit around here just so things could look just a little bit better. And we did also clear up the beach area because we did have a lot of weird stray grass kind of growing in there, and it was pretty ugly. So we did get back in that place, and I did also expand the Taiwan Central area, which is dual use now. So we do have it for shipping, but we also do have it there for public transportation, which we have not started yet, but we are going to get that today. So a big focus for today is going to be the continued development of Taiwan. Another thing you'll notice here is we do have a passenger on the Taiwan line, and that passenger, the goal is to get over to Calcutta. So last day we had set up the route, but what we did is we didn't actually set up a route for passengers. And so I did do that for today. This is not a passenger vessel, but I did do that, and so we now have that set up. So one of the best ways that you can really increase public transportation in terms of your ships and your planes is to have an active transportation system within your city. So we are going to do that today. Okay, so our first thing that we want to look at, just in terms of public transport, we need to get ourselves some tram stops or bus stops. In this case, we're going to use buses. We're not going to go with trams. And of course, at this age of the game, we don't even have buses. We are definitely going to be going with carts. All right, multiple vehicles are in bad condition. That's not good. We are going to fix that. But first things first. So let's pop a few things down here. So I definitely want to have a stop there. I'm putting down routes that will be good for now and for later in the game. And so one of the ways that I'm going to want to develop is to have a route system that is going to allow me to transport passengers all around the city. Okay? So early game, this is going to cost me because I'm not going to have passengers in that area. However, doing it for the mid and the later game makes a lot of sense. And so you can see when you plop something down, the areas for where they're impacted light up. That means that those are travel areas for those particular stops. Okay, so as you can see, we're gonna get quite a few stops down here, just because we do have a pretty, not a big city, but a pretty large geographic footprint for our city. Okay, and again, ultimately, we are going to go back later and we're going to add some different routes for that. But what we have now is we have enough of a starting point so that what we're going to do is we are going to create a new line, and this is going to be our first public transport line, so very exciting. So we will start there, okay? And then we're simply going to follow our route. And again, you'll notice right now that our route is not particularly useful, only because we do have a number of areas that we don't have any development. The goal is that that is going to help spur development, and so we will have to wait on that and sort of see how that goes. But that right now is our primary goal, that it will spur development. Okay, so just like that, we now have our route. And as you can see, the majority of the outskirts of the city are covered in that route. What we want to do now is we want to actually get I was going to say buses, but as you know, it is 1868. We do not have buses. So I want to get some horse carriages on there. And you can see now, because we are playing on the Tropical Asian map, we have the Troika. That's right, the Troika. Now, it only has a capacity of 3, which frankly is awful. But we're going to start small, just to see what the demand is like. So we're going to put 4 vehicles on that line. Okay, and what we will do here is we'll switch it over to that line 19, and let's see them roll out of the station. There they go. Absolutely beautiful. Why don't we stop that just for a second? Just look at that. Absolute stunning. You got the 3 horses there. Lovely. And what is this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is something. So we apparently have a deer or 2 wandering through our town. And again, this will eventually be our town. But now that, well, I was going to say buses again, but now that we've got the horses on the line, that is going to start to populate. You can already see it right now. We've got 2 passengers at 12th Street. They are looking for some action, and they're happy that we've got this route. And in terms of our transfer station here for shipping, we already have 5 passengers. 5 passengers who want to get to Calcutta. Very nice. On the other side, we only have 1. Okay, but we're not done there yet. So we've got the public transport. We have got an opportunity where we're doing some shipping by boat. I want to continue to exploit that. And yes, I'm going to get to that message about vehicle conditions, but first things first, we need to continue spending some money, getting some new lines set up here. We need to get some passengers moving, because look at the demand here. We have got multiple stops where passengers are accessing public transport. All right, we've already got 10 at that stop. That is awesome. So checking out the map here, I did see this a little bit earlier. Baghdad has grown sufficiently that we can actually get a stop there. And so what I'd like us to do is, you got it, I want us to get a passenger harbor over at Baghdad. And I know that in terms of passengers, a lot of what we can see right now is cargo. But I hope that we can ultimately develop this station a little bit more. But I do want to get that down, and that is going to provide us with the opportunity to have another destination where we can ship people and eventually goods. So we do have another stop down there. Now, what I would like to do, let's just quickly here go to configure things. I know that right now it's a small dock, so we'll probably stick with the small dock. I don't even think I need two steps down right now. But do I want to? Maybe I do. You know what? No, for now we're okay. We're okay. We don't need to worry about it for right now. But you know what? Do I want to have another landing there? Would that be useful? Well, you know what? An additional connection is always going to be valuable. So let's do that. Okay, now let's get another line created. We are line happy today. So here we are going to connect Baghdad to Tayan. And so again, we will go with the passenger port. There it is. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now what we're going to want to do on this is we are going to want to get, I'm thinking 2 ships. The passenger demand will not be huge at first, but it is a very, very long distance. And so we're going to continue to go with the Riggy. So we will get 2 Riggies there, and we will get them on that line right now. Okay, so there's line 20. There it is. Perfect. And there go the Riggies. And again, absolutely beautiful in terms of that. Now, I'm glad to see ship 7 here is heading off to this pier, which is great. The other one is heading off to the Baghdad pier, so we can get some separation. Now, we will have multiple lines here. So right now we don't have anyone, and not surprising, it's an absolutely brand new line. I wasn't expecting anything different, but this is really going to help our population grow. In terms of our population, speaking of growth, We are at 133 residents. So our target population originally was 82. We're over 60%. That's awesome. We are getting construction materials. We are getting food supplies, although that food supply number should definitely be higher. I'm going to need to look at that. It looks like we've got a bit of a backlog, especially considering the fact that we do have a food processing station, which is way under capacity right now. So we're going to have to work on that. I'm just going to need to get more vehicles on that line, and that's really going to pump that food production up. But in terms of Taiwan, if you look at it, no, don't want to rename it. If you look at it, for the most part, we've been growing. We had a little bit of a dip. That's going to turn around. My goodness, look at this. Look at this stop. Holy cow. Okay, so I'm pretty confident in saying that the Shanghai Street stop is very popular, and we are definitely going to need to get some more vehicles on that. That is amazing. In terms of shipping, no, still nothing in terms of line 20, but Calcutta is a popular route. Now, normally I would actually put I would put a transit system here in Calcutta, and we will do that. That's just going to be another day. But the more transit systems you have that connect key areas like your ports, the more people who are going to travel. And as we can see here, in terms of Baghdad, I could also, if I wanted to, I could also put Baghdad and Calcutta onto a network together, although I do right now have a pretty substantial connection here in terms of the road, and you can see there's a lot of private passengers, in this case Jerasim, who is traveling the other way. So probably don't necessarily need it right now, but it's something that we'll look at a little bit later for sure. As we can see, yeah, see here, look at this. Way too much production in terms of these products that are just not being moved. So we're going to have to work on that. We did get the pop-up there, though, that a number of our lines are old, and a lot of the vehicles on those lines are not in good condition. So let's take a very quick look here. Okay, so road vehicle 1, very bad condition. We do want to change that all. So let's do the logical thing. We're going to replace all of the vehicles, and there we go, just like that. We should have all of those vehicles replaced. This is going to cost us a lot of money, but it's just one of those things you have to do. Line 2, another old line, and you guessed it, same drill. We are going to replace everything. And we don't have any real other options right now. We're still all basically horse-drawn carriages, so we will eventually get other things there. But right now, no other options. And yes, this is costing us a fortune, but like I say, there's no other options right now. And when you look at the amount of money we have in the account, I mean, we've got like 11 million bucks. We're making big money. I'm very happy with that. I have kind of let the lines run longer than they should. That is on me. And it was done purposely for the simple reason that I didn't want to spend any money to upgrade the lines until I actually was making a nice amount of profit to be able to go through and do what I'm doing now. But you definitely don't want to let your lines and the equipment on them erode. It's not going to be good for you. It's not going to be good for you at all. So that's something that you always want to work on. Just making sure that you are constantly replacing the vehicles. Now, one of the other things I do quite often, didn't do it this turn because I was trying to save money, but changing the maintenance and putting it to high maintenance is really, really, really beneficial because it will give you a lot longer run and a lot better equipment for a longer period. So that is definitely something you want to do. My goodness, I knew my vehicles were bad. I didn't think they were this bad. Oh, wow. Now we're in the good to mediocre. Now, one of the things I think probably line 12 I could do is just change the maintenance to high for the vehicles that are mediocre. I think it's probably the easiest thing to do right now because it will keep us Yeah, it's going to cost us more, but it will keep the vehicles in a mediocre state so that they're not getting to that really bad state. It does cost more, but again, the benefit is when the vehicles are in a good condition, or a mediocre condition, they're going to be able to ship more goods and you're going to be more successful. Speaking of shipping more, wow, Shanghai Street is now at 49 passengers. Okay, well, I think it's pretty obvious right now. We've got to act on that. So our line number 19, these are, we had 4 vehicles, I believe, that we put on there. So let's switch that up. Okay, and let's get in there, and what we're going to do is we are basically going to clone all of those vehicles. So let's double the line. I'm not even looking at the cost right now. I know we've got a ton of people on there. Let's get it done. Okay, so there they go. Very happy with that. Now, the other big thing I really wanted to accomplish today is when we look at our map, we do not have any transportation links in terms of train to Taiwan, and so we have to get that done. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we get that done, you know what? We do need to make this official. We've been saying it for a while, but we haven't done anything about it. We need to actually show commitment that Taiwan, this is our place to be. This is where we want to be, and we need to build. We need to build our headquarters. And what better place to do it than right on the beach, so close to the pier. Absolutely love it. What an amazing backdrop. Oh, this is the money right here. Ready? We're gonna do it. Let's do it. Boom. There it is. Absolutely awesome. Let's make sure it's official. JMO76, Good to You Limited. And there is our tenement of a headquarters. Yes, we have probably dropped the value of the city down about 50,000 just by dropping this tenement here, but in a short period of time, it is going to be huge, and it's going to be the centerpiece of the town. What an amazing view right now, though. We've got the port here. All right, we've got the passengers coming in. The town is growing. Oh, absolutely stunning backdrop. This is going to be the center of everything. Speaking of center of everything, I do want to look a little bit more in terms of our road network and see what else we could do here. So I am wondering if we can do some upgrading here just to make things a little bit smoother. Yeah, there we go. I like that. So I didn't really like what we were doing there with the dirt roads. I think this looks a little bit more official. It's also going to give us justification for our town to keep growing. Now, here is what I wanted to get to. So we are going to need some type of railway network. And we're not going to have a lot of use for our railway in terms of passengers. It's just not the type of map that we have. But I have been eyeing Zhengzhou over here for quite a while as a really easy destination to get to. By train. I've really wanted to do that one. I know that we've also got Istanbul, which we could easily take advantage of, although it is a very small city, but it would be a bit of an easier route to get there. We wouldn't have any bridge. So we could go Zhengzhou right now, or we could go Istanbul. I do want to have a direct route for both of them. And I'm also really thinking Hanoi is an amazing opportunity for us because Hanoi takes the exact goods that we are using to grow. So those are the 3 cities right now that I have high on my radar. If it was a bang for the buck thing, for sure, I think it's going to be Hanoi. It's the biggest city, 253 residents. If we're looking at Zhengzhou, it's quite small. We wouldn't get a lot out of that. And if we were going to go to Istanbul, 58, it's just as tiny. But again, for us, we really want to establish our sphere of influence. So in terms of city building, I do want us to get our first train station down here so we can get some stops in. And it is going to ultimately be a dual type of station. So what I would like to do is build it somewhere in this area here. And I think that this is going to give us some flexibility in terms of growth. Now, one of the things that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to extend our train lines and our passenger lines, because I'm going to have something plunking down here if this is in fact the route that I want to go. And I think it is. So looking here at our buildings, what I would like is to have a terminus station. And for now, I'm not looking at cargo. I'm simply looking at people. And so in terms of a terminus station, depending on where I want to pop this down, I have different needs. Obviously, this street would give me the best opportunity to move goods, especially if I can have it right here at an interchange. I think that would be really, really good. I also want to be able to get access to as many passengers as possible. So I do like that. I don't have a ton of tentacles that I can see there, but we do have enough. So let's pop it down. 176,000, absolutely perfect. And is Hanoi going to be the sweet spot right now, or is it going to be Zhengzhou? Well, you know what? Zhengzhou and Hanoi, the biggest problem with them right now is going to be access. It's going to cost me a fortune to go over the water. I don't want to spend that just yet. So let's do the logical thing right now. Let's do the logical thing right now. Let's get a railway down in Istanbul. And I'm not going to go with a terminus station on this one for the simple reason that I do have some plans to grow Istanbul as well. So let's go with a regular passenger line. You know what I'm gonna need to probably do here is I'm gonna need to actually build a street or two around this just so we can get what we need here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop it down right here, which is a strange location, but I'm going to pop it down right there for now. And then I'm going to quickly build a street or two around it. Okay, so let's just stop that there for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to build our street, make sure that we get our tentacles here first and foremost. Absolutely crucial, everyone. You always remember to get your tentacles, because if you don't, you will not have a connection. Okay, from an aesthetic standpoint, that is god awful. And again, we will fix that. But just for now, because we are in the process of building, we want to get some things down. We want to get this line up and running. So let's get our tracks ready to go. All right, so looking at it here, we are going to have to travel up over the water here. And so we're going to have to negotiate a little bit in terms of some of these stops. And unfortunately, it is going to cost us some money, but it's just part of the game. It's just how it works. So we will do that. I'm not going to spin that around. I am going to go right here through the middle though, and I'm going to try to navigate up this channel the best I can, which is a bit tricky, but I think we can do it. I think we can do it. We might have to slow our route down just a little bit. Okay, that was not what I wanted to see. I really don't want to have to make that turn. How about we look at it like this? Maybe we start the turn here. Could we link that? No, they don't want to. That doesn't want to play nice there. Okay, let's just bulldoze this for a second here. Let's rethink how we're going to build this. So if we started it right there, could we get a connection? Could we find happiness right there? Yes, we can. And just like that, perfect. Okay, now we are going to have to slow this down a little bit because we are going to have to turn it. And it's not ideal. We are going to lose a little bit of speed, but that's okay. That is okay, because again, we can gain that speed back right there. And look at that, that train is going to be flying. Okay, so we can get up to 120 there, depending on the equipment we have. And there is our train station right there. So we're going to cross over here. A little bit later, I'm going to have to address this because I don't want the vehicles to have to slow down. So I am going to have to get a bridge or something like that over the road. Now, we did create one passenger bay here. So for now, we will start this one here and we will connect it. We will connect it. Yes, we will. There we go. And there it is. Okay. So we have got the passenger line established here from Istanbul over here to Tallinn. So Istanbul is going to become our range of influence. What I want to do with that right now, while I can, is I want to get a train depot up and running. And so just in terms of a fairly neutral location for that, why don't we pop that down right there? Hopefully we can get a nice connection on that without too much difficulty, hopefully. Sometimes these tracks are a little bit pesky, but that seems to work. All right, absolutely perfect. Now, let us get our line up and running here. So let's get a new track ready to go. A new line, pardon me, ready to go. Okay, so we are going to connect Tallinn to Istanbul. There we go. There's the line. Now let's check out what our options are here. So in terms of buying vehicles, okay, well, we do have a number of trains now that have popped up recently. Now we do know in terms of our boxcar speed, 60K for the Russo Bolt versus the Nicholas is 40K. 60K is a big difference. So I definitely want that. Question is, can I have any trains here who can go that fast? The Russian Class B is only 50K. The Russian Class GB, that's 55K. A little bit less power though. 55K for the Russian, the Type 1. Way less power in terms of that one. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go with the 55K. Okay, so we will go with the 55K, and then let's get some passengers here ready, or passenger vehicles ready. So we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. So let's get 5 on there, and let's get it on our line 21. All right, let's see it roll out here. These are always special moments when we get our first train on the track. There it is, absolutely stunning. Look at that. Let's check it out as it pulls into fast developing Tallinn. As you can see here right now, this will not be the case for long, but when the train pulls in, it's coming right through the jungle. There it is, right into town. Oh, and we almost took out the deer. That is how we roll in Tallinn. Very nice. Wow, poor dear. Okay, so look at that right away. We already have a passenger who is wanting to get in on Tallinn to Istanbul. Do we have the same thing in Istanbul? No, we do not. Am I surprised? Not remotely. It is like the smallest town that I have ever seen. Okay, but again, that is going to change really quickly. I'm going to try to help them out a little bit here, just making some connections. That does ultimately help their towns grow faster when people can get around at a quicker pace because they have the ability to connect the road. So just like that, boom, you can see the road already spawned there and the town is already starting to grow. And again, what we are going to do here is we are going to continue to develop this area. Again, there you can see the growth already. And just like that, we already have passengers from Istanbul who are wanting in on this train ride. I think it's only fitting. What we do here is we have to follow the train in here. We have to see what it looks like pulling into Istanbul. Always one of the amazing highlights of the game when you get to see these visuals. Absolutely awesome. Oh, what a beautiful setting. You can only imagine pulling into tiny little Istanbul. This is not a statement you hear very often. Tiny little Istanbul. But there it is. Oh, just a little baby. There's the town. Peeps are already there. They are ready, having a blast. Look, 8 of them are already on the train. Absolutely awesome. Well, we have done a ton of work today in terms of developing Taoyuan. We've got our transit line, we've got our ship lines, we've got now not a lot, but we do have people coming in from 2 different cities now. We've established a train line, we've got the public transport, the food network is up and running. Taoyuan is definitely growing, already at 141, so you can see we're skyrocketing up. We are going to be the biggest city on the map. Give us another 100 years, nobody messes with Taoyuan. Anyways, I think that is a great place to call it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really love it when people like and subscribe and comment on the videos. It gives me an excuse to continue making more. Thanks so much for everyone for the support. Absolutely love it. Have yourself a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.